Hey, hi. Um, just in case you need something, I'm dropping this recording of the shortest version of Premiere in case you need it. So just a couple of little things that might not be covered with other tutorials in case you need it. Usually, besides being incredibly intimidating in terms of interface, Premiere is quite simple, and if you focus on only what you need, um, uh, for right now, it should not be a problem. In all these years, nearly everybody was able to quickly and successfully figure out Premiere, and then afterwards use it for a whole lot of stuff, including family photos and all this other stuff. So here's what you get with Premiere. You start by clicking on a new project, and I will call it, let's call it demo again, like everything else. I am going to just place it on the desktop, but you make sure that you know, and maybe animation folder, because this is where I made this stuff from Rhino. So I'm going to select that folder. Um, in most cases, you don't have to do anything. You will not have a CUDA renderer, which is fine. You can just continue with this. So when it opens up finally, you get to see something very different. Um, there's no central screen, but still all of the drop down menus are where you would expect them. So there's a program sequence, there's timeline, and there's this import medium. If you double click here, um, you I have on my desktop, while I was showing you how to do animations in Rhino, I've created this animation which is, I think, 300 frames long. And if you click on the first image and click on image sequence, this is quite important. It will import all of these individual JPEGs and fuse them into some sort of a movie file. So when I do this, I have now imported, and you see I'm kind of, this is called scrubbing. I'm scrubbing through it, and this is the animation, the 360 turntable. Now, what else do I want? Well, I want one, um, go back to desktop. I'll use maybe some of these MPEG-4 files that I also made for this is for the studio class, but it will work well. This is the recording of explanation for bubble diagram in PowerPoint. And then I want a still image, so I'll continue to double click somewhere here, right? Uh, to be able to, mm, no, that's not what I want. I want to import, but I can just do, um, um, I can just do here. I want to have one just simple image, and I'm going to show you how does that work. So I just imported this image file. It's not animated. It's just an image. And then this is test animation series of images that came from Rhino. So 300 of them, one by one, fused into a movie-like file by Premiere, and then a regular uh, movie file MPEG-4. Okay, so I can start from just using the still image, and I'm just gonna click on it and drag it into what is called a timeline. So by default, duration of the first file is 5 seconds, and here's how it looks like. So it's not moving, it's a still image, and for 5 seconds you're seeing, an image. So that could be useful. This is my first 5 seconds of animation. Then after that, I can drag. I'm literally clicking on my library and dragging it here. Now I have 5 seconds of this animation and then 10 seconds of rotation from Rhino. Okay, and then the last one will be this presentation that I made. Now my timeline seems to be filled, and I'm just going to actually make it larger. Now I'm seeing everything up to close to 16 seconds, right? This will be 16, so I have 15 seconds, 5 and 10 of animation. And the last one is going to be this other file, which is MPEG-4. So total, my animation looks like this. 5 seconds of still image, rotation from Rhino, and then this presentation from... Now what happened here is my first file is actually very small, and that actually messed up size of everything else. So the first file I dragged was incredibly small resolution wise. Now when I come to something that is a full screen resolution, which is here, right, it ends up being cropped. This ends up being cropped a little bit more, and this ends up being cropped a lot more. Now, knowing that, there's a way to figure it out. What I would believe, setting it up in terms of a sequence size might end up being, so frame size is now very small. Now I need to make it a lot larger. So what would be good? 80 by 1200, and I'll just click yes. Now this all the previews will be deleted, which is fine, but now here's how it looks like, right? Now you see that I have a black border around, which means I will probably have to check what's the size of this file, because that's what I want. I don't want this big border, right? How do you alleviate all of that? Well, before you start doing it, if you have still images, which probably will be the biggest problem, if you are creating your final videos somewhere else, like in Lumion or Enscape, they will all come with the same resolutions. Also, if you're creating your videos or animations in Rhino, they will all come with the same resolution, same size. So you can kind of use that as a guide. If you're building in images, I suggest that you go in Photoshop and size them up in Photoshop and save them to size. So it requires a little bit of preparation. However, because this is sort of a collage of images and clips, it will end up being slightly different. I can go back and actually kind of reduce the sequence. So 19, I will just go to 19 down to, let's see if that is going to make it a little bit better. Let me go back to here. Yeah, this is fine. See, this one is completely fine. This is fine. This is a little bit better, except the first image I will probably go into Photoshop, enlarge it up to this size. Okay, now I have an animation, and this is what is needed. What I can do is I can make transitions between all of these clips, and I can add sound. Sound could be recording of me narrating stuff, which is kind of really cool, or it could be some sort of music MP3 file that you can add, or any other type of file. So in order to do, if I want to have something shorter, I could just shorten the duration. So this is now 2 2 seconds long image, and then I have to repatch my timeline. Now my animation will be slightly changed, and for an image I'm actually not changing much. I'm not clipping parts. But if I do the same thing for animation, like I'm going to make it start later, you'll see that I will miss the first part of animation. So when this goes fine, I'm not starting from where I was. I clipped first several seconds. So if you see this, this animation now is this part only is now 8 seconds and 13 whatever hundreds of seconds, meaning first, second, and 21 parts I've clipped out, right? So this is my preview. This is what I can see. These are all the parts that I clipped out. Not something that I necessarily want specially for this, but in case you want to add it out of a longer time, you will be using this type of manipulation. There's other options. There's a lot more other options in other videos. This is just the shortest one. All of them will show you how to add sound to it, because it's just all of these are audio files, and they will also show you how to mix volumes so that you have, things that are emphasized. And the other part is transition